With the election just around the corner, we only have one major party platform left to look at, the NDP. New Democrats' plan, titled Made for People, Built for Canada, has 9 commitment areas. One of those 9 is dedicated to Indigenous people, titled Reconciliation in Action. Here we see Jagmeet Singh come out with some of the most ambitious commitments to Indigenous affairs of any of the parties. While they actually make a lot of the same promises that the Liberals do, they use much stronger language. Complete all of the calls to action from the TRC and the MMIWG inquiry. Fully realize all of the articles of UNDRIP. Eliminate all boil water advisories. This is much different sounding than just working towards these issues. They're also the only party we've seen so far recognize the insufficiencies to consultation and instead commit fully to free, prior, and informed consent. They also make other promises that are supposed to speak to that. So, for example, if they were to ever enter into any trade agreements with the US, they promise to have Indigenous people at the table. This, they say, is a recognition of Indigenous people's role in not just domestic affairs, but international ones, and having a full nation-to-nation relationship. Also, they're the only ones to distinguish between First Nations, Métis, and Inuit governments and have specific promises made to each of those. Other notable items include launching a national inquiry into violence and systemic racism against Indigenous people, funding and facilitating jurisdictional handovers related to child welfare, and building 3,000 homes in the Arctic by 2030. To that point, their costed plan promises $2 billion over a 4-year term to Indigenous housing. These are all certainly very big and much-needed promises with a more holistic scope than either of the other parties have offered us. While I do have some concerns about the party's overall viability this election, and I'd be really hesitant to overpromise to Indigenous people only to let them down if elected, something that we have had happen before, Trudeau. Nonetheless, this platform definitely stands out as the most progressive among the big 3 that we've looked at this election.